Hello everybody, welcome to Crocheting and Knitting Patterns TV. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for taking your time to view my work and to share my work. I'm very grateful. I'm sorry I've been quiet. I've not been doing a lot of videos lately, and it's because I was engaged in other crocheting projects offline, but I'm happy to be back today. And today I'm going to show you how to crochet a vertical stripped bucket hat. So what you need for this project, you need 2 different colors of yarn and a crochet size hook that matches the size of your yarn. So I'm going to start off with the gray color, and we are going to make a magic ring like so, and then we are going to chain 2, and then we are going to make 12 double crochets all around our work. I'm very interested in this project. It's a new technique for me and I really like it. I'll soon be doing the swirl stripped bucket hat. So I'll show you how to do that as soon as I'm done with this project. So we are going to make 12 double crochets all around our magic ring, and don't count the chain 2 as a double crochet. So I have completed 12 double crochets all around my magic circle. So I want to make a slip stitch to join these 2 parts, and I'm going to go to the second part of the chain 2 we did earlier and make my slip stitch. Then I'm going to chain 2. And then in the next stitch, I'm going to make 2 double crochets in it because we are going to increase our magic circle. So at the end of this magic circle, once again in this second round, we are going to have 24 double crochets, and we are going to take color B. In my case, it's color orange. So I'm combining gray and orange. So I'm going to tie a knot to secure my yarn, both of my yarns. So just before I complete the second double crochet, I'm going to pick up color B and use it to complete the second double crochet there. So remember to hold on to all the yarn that you have, work over it, and continue increasing the magic circle. Make 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then just before we complete the second double crochet, we are going to pick up the other color and use it to continue working on our magic circle. Increase the next stitch again and make 2 double crochets in it, and remember to work over your yarn. Once again, just before we complete the second double crochet, pick up the other color and use it to complete the 2 double crochets, and so on and so forth. So basically we are alternating between the 2 colors. Go around the magic circle, and at the end you should be having 24 double crochets. So I have come to the end of my round 2, and just before I complete the second double crochet, I'm going to pick up my color A or color B. Color A, the first color I started with, and then I'm going to join the 2 parts using a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain 2. Please note that as we proceed on with our hat, the chain 2 does not count as a stitch, and to join the 2 parts using the slip stitch, we'll always be using our initial color or the first color we started with. So now we are going to increase our magic circle, and we are going to start off by making 2 double crochets in the first stitch. Make 2 double crochets in the first stitch. And one thing I would like to tell you is that don't use heavy yarn, because as we work along our hat, we are working on top of another yarn, either the color A or color B. So don't use thick yarn because it will be too warm. It will be too warm, but if you need it for winter, you can use a thicker yarn. But normally, just use a fairly medium size yarn. So we have increased in the first part, In the first stitch we have 2 double crochets, so we are going to make one double crochet in the next, and then we are going to end our double crochet using the color B, like so, and then we are going to continue increasing our magic circle. So we are going to make 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and make sure your color matches, each color matches the prior round. Like if we had orange here, it should be orange. If you have gray, make sure gray follows, like so on and so forth. So we are going to increase our magic circle to 36 double crochets for round 3. It's very easy to follow, because if you have already done a magic circle before, this should be easy to follow. The only thing you need to master is how to interchange the colors, and it is quite straightforward because we are using what we have. If you have gray, you want to work with gray. If you have orange, work with orange. So we are making our second double crochet in that stitch there, and then followed by 1 double crochet. Pick up the next color so that we are able to move on to the orange part. So continue working all around the magic circle and make sure you have 36 double crochets just before you join the 2 parts. So I have come to the end of my round once again, and now have already picked up color A, and I'm going to join the 2 parts using a slip stitch, chain 2, remember it does not count as a stitch, and I'm going to continue increasing my circle. So I'm going to make 2 double crochets in the first stitch, and then I'm going to make 2 more double crochets. Remember to hold, as you do the double crochets, hold on to the yarn that you're not using, work over it. So I'm going to pick up color B just before I finish the final double stitch on the gray part. So now we are working over color orange. Make 2 double crochets on the first stitch on the orange part, and then make a double crochet in the next, and then 1 more double crochet in the next. And just before we complete that double crochet on the orange part, we pick up color A and continue working the pattern all round until we get to the other part of the slip stitch. So once again, I've come to the end of that round, and I'm going to increase my hat for the last time. So depending on the size of your hat, keep increasing if you are okay with, depending on the size of the hat that you want. If you wish to increase, continue increasing the double crochets. So for me, this will be my last round. So I am going to continue increasing. So once I have made the slip stitch, I have already made 1 double crochet. I'm going to add another double crochet, and then I'm going to continue increasing. I have 3 double crochets in between 2 double crochets for my last round. So this hat that I'm making ideally is for a medium size head. So as you can see, I have 2 double crochets and then I have 3 double crochets. So I'm going to continue increasing in this round in the same manner. So I've already made 2 double crochets there. So continue with the pattern all round. Have 3 double crochets in between 2 double crochets in the same stitch. And then I'll pause the video and work all round. So I have come to the end of increasing the top part, the crown part of my hat. And sorry, I know there was some noise earlier on. I'm truly sorry for that. So I'm going to join the 2 parts using a slip stitch. And then I am going to chain 2. And now moving forward until I am done with the top part, I'm not going to increase until we get to the brim area of the hat. So for this first round, we are going to work using our back loops, this part of the yarn, the outer part. And we are going to work as well as we are going to look at what color matches what. So if it's gray, we are going to use gray. If it's orange, we use orange. So remember to hold on to a yarn, and we're only going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch. And remember, we are only using the back loop only for this round. Then after this round, we are going to now resume working into both the front loops and the back loops. Remember, when you have to change colors on the last double crochet before you get to the next color, pick up color B and continue using it for the respective part concerning that color. So I'm going to pause the video and continue working 1 double crochet in each of the stitches until I get to the end. Hi, so now I have completed that round in which we were working using the back loops only, and we are going to join the 2 parts, the slip stitch and chain 2, and now we are going to resume working into both sides, the front loop and the back loop, and we are going to make 1 double crochet in each stitch. Remember to alternate the colors such that you only have it's matching, as you can see, color A on its own, color B on its own. So continue working round and round, and for me I'm going to do 7 rows without increasing. So once I'm done, I'm going to resume showing you how to proceed on to the next. So depending on the height of the size of the hat that you want, adjust that and make the required number of rows. So I have completed making the rounds from the top part into the midsection of my hat, as you can see, all the way up to here. So I have joined the 2 parts using a slip stitch, just like we have been doing all along. And we are going to increase our first row. Now we are making the brim part of the hat, and we are going to make 2 chains there. And then moving forward, we are going to, for this first row of the brim, we are only going to use the front part of the front loops rather, and we are going to increase differently for the brim. For example, in this last part of the top part of the crown part that I was making for this hat, I had 3 double crochets in between 2 double crochets. Remember, we were increasing when we started off making this hat. We were increasing while crocheting a magic circle. So as for my case, I had 3 double crochets in between 2 double crochets. So for the brim, we are going to increase differently, and we are going to do it this way. I am going to make 2 double crochets in the first stitch. Remember, we are not counting the chain 2 as a stitch. So we are going to make 2 double crochets there, and then I'm going to have 2 double crochets in each of the next stitches. So I have made my 2 double crochets in one stitch. I'll have 1 double crochet there, then I'll make another double crochet in the next, and then we are going to have 2 double crochets together. So we are increasing differently. And remember, we are only using the front loops. We are only using the front loops. We are not using the back loops for this first round of the brim. So now we are going to pick up color B, and then we are going to repeat the same. We are going to make 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then we are going to increase. No, we are not going to increase. We are going to make 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in the next. So continue all round, and I'll meet you at the end. My apologies. I realize because we are using 2 different colors, we cannot we are not going to decrease how we were increasing rather. But if you are using a single color, we would have 2 double crochets and then reduce. For example, if we had, like in my case, I had 2 double crochets, then 3 double crochets in between the second or the next double crochet. That would have worked if you're using a single color. But because we're using 2 different colors, our pattern will be altered if we decrease or we change how we are going to increase. So follow what you did in the last part of the crown as you were increasing. For example, in my case, I have 2 double crochets and then I have 1 double crochet in the next, another double crochet in the next stitch and another double crochet in the next, and then I have 3 double crochets. So we are basically going to follow our colors, still continue following our colors, because if we decrease differently, our pattern will be altered. But if you are using a different color, then you'd follow what you had, how you increased in the last part of the hat or the top part of the hat, and then you decrease by 1 double crochet. So we are basically going to continue working with the pattern. I'm sorry for that confusion. Continue working and increase as you had done earlier, so that we don't alter our pattern. And remember to use the front loops only. Remember to use the front loops for this first row of the brim. So in the next part of the next color B, we are going to have, sorry, I need to use the front loop here. I picked both. So we are going to have 2 double crochets and then followed by 3 double crochets in each in its own stitch or its own chain space. And that is what basically we are going to continue doing for the rest of this first row of the brim. We are going to increase, and so continue working round until you have completed your row. Increase on the first stitch of each new color. Increase and make 2 double crochets in that particular stitch, and in the rest do a single do 1 double crochet. So like for my case, I have 3 double crochets in between 2 double crochets in 1 stitch. So I've come to the end of my first round of the brim, and I want to join the 2 parts using a slip stitch, just like we have been doing earlier on. Chain 2, and for our second row of the brim, we are going to do just 1 single crochet in each stitch. No, not 1 single crochet, 1 double crochet, sorry. And now this time we are going to use the front loop and both the back loop. Moving on forward, use both the front loops and the back loops. So basically do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around. So I'm going to pause the video and do 1 double crochet in each stitch all round. And by now, the brim should be facing outwards or protruding outwards. That's why we worked on the front loops only for the previous row. So I have completed the second row of the brim. So I've completed the second row of the brim, and moving forward, I'm not going to increase my brim. But if you wish to increase how your size of the brim is, continue working, continue increasing after each row. For example, if I wanted to increase my brim, the size of the brim of my hat, I would have to do 2 double crochets at the beginning and then 1 double crochet in each. But I don't want to increase it anymore, so I'm only going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way for like 4 more rows, and then I'll be done with my hat. So back to the person who wants to increase the size of the brim. After you have increased, for example, our next row, if we were to increase, was to make 2 double crochets at the first chain here. After we are done with the increase row, now we do 1 double crochet in each row for another round, and then we increase again if you want our hat to be, if you want to increase the size of our brim. But because I don't want to increase the size of my brim, I'm only going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way around for 4 more rows. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll meet you once I'm done. So as you work on the brim, you notice that your brim, the brim part will be on the outside. It will be falling on the outside like so. So I have completed working on my bucket hat, and for the final row, I decided to do a plain row of orange just to spice it up. I love orange and it's a bright color. So there is my bucket hat, the striped bucket hat. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. Thank you for taking your time to check out my work. I don't take it for granted. Happy crocheting. Please check through my channel for other knit and crochet patterns, and thank you so much for your support this far. I'm very, very grateful. Happy crocheting.